When my little son was about 4 years old, he started to stutter. He would get blocks where he would open his mouth and talk, and the sounds he was looking to produce would take a few extra seconds to come out. He also started to have prolongations where a single sound would be held for an extended period of time. And lastly, he also had repetitions, where part of a word or even a whole word or even part of a phrase would be repeated a few times before what he was actually trying to say comes out. Those repetitions and blocks, they kind of remind me of when you play a vinyl record and it skips or loops. At the time, we knew it was possible that this could be developmental and that he would grow out of it. We hoped this was the case. We continued with speech therapy to help with the fluency so that his speech could be fixed. We worked desperately to get his stutter fixed. We wanted him to have the same fluency as everyone else. We wanted those skips and loops gone. As his dad, I worried that his stutter would get in the way of his future, his hopes and his dreams. I worried it would get him made fun of. However, by the time he was 5, we knew that it was very likely that he would always stutter. And we were very sad about that realization. I know I had some denial. Okay, you always have this stutter, but how do we work to hide it? How do we help him use these techniques to fake it, to appear just like everyone else? If he's not talking like everyone else, will he be accepted by his peers? We had lots of these thoughts. We had in our minds that fluency was number one. We needed him to sound like a clean record. No scratches, no dust or dirt, and certainly not warped. When he was 6, we ended up attending a single-day family conference for young people that stutter and their families to our organization called Friends. The person that started off the conference warmly welcomed the attendees and stuttered through the entire introduction. My son's face lit up. He realized he was not the only one. Other people stutter too, he realized. Other people have skips and loops. 1% of the global population stutters, and now my son has finally met someone else who stutters. My son met older kids who stuttered, and he thought they were so cool. He saw young adults in grad school talk about their lives as stutters. My wife and I met adults who stuttered, who had actual families and careers. We also closely bonded with other parents who had kids who stuttered. We were not alone. None of us were alone. Through that conference and the next multi-day conference that our family attended the following summer, I realized something. There's nothing to fix. It's a stutter. It's part of who my son is. We no longer desire for him to have a perfect fluency as a goal so that he can sound like everyone else. We desire for him to be a confident communicator, to not be ashamed, to be able to say everything he needs, no matter how many blocks, prolongations, and repetitions it takes. Sure, if he wants to learn and use fluency techniques and tips, that's great. And if he doesn't, that is fine too. We just want him to drop the needle and let the music play. Now, middle school is coming up, and I am nervous about it, as are most parents of kids entering middle school, with or without a stutter. However, I'm also excited to see him grow up and own his stutter. I'm excited to see him learn how to grow into an even more confident communicator. I want him to grow into the kid who would drop the needle and let the music play, no matter how many skips and loops it takes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story.
We just want to wish all of you a happy National Stuttering Awareness Week, and we really look forward to seeing many of you in Chicago this summer in July for the Friends annual convention.